good evening once again. My name is Lady Raj, and you're welcome to the dialogue. Okay, so a quick prayer. Father, we thank you for this evening, for another opportunity to learn, another opportunity to become better people. Please help us in this quest. In Jesus' name, amen. If you agree with the prayer, please put an amen in the chat box for me. And while at it, kindly send the link to somebody else to join. Drop an amen in the chat box if you can hear me. All right, all right. Kobna, I see you. Thank you, Mrs. Adom. Keep them coming. Hello, Alfreda. Oh my God. So good to see you here. Alfreda is my childhood bestie. Like from nursery, primary. We were good to see you here. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right. So this evening we are talking about privacy in relationships. And okay, let me quickly read this. What is privacy? So the general definition is the state of being free from intrusion. All right. So take note of the word intrusion or disturbance in one's private life or affairs. Privacy is the state of being free from intrusion or disturbance in one's private life or affairs. So that's the definition of privacy there for you. And please, I've sent invitations for most of us or all of us to be speakers because I want this um, session to be very interactive. So I've sent invitations. Kindly accept my invitation to speak. I would love to hear your point of view concerning this particular topic. So that's the definition that I got for privacy. And so in the link that I sent when I was sending when I was sending the flyer around, forgive me, I asked two questions. When you're in a relationship, what do you think about privacy or openness when it comes to things like phones? Should your partner have access to your phone, or should you both have privacy on your phones? For those who are married or courting, do you allow your significant other to go through your phone? So that's what I want to ask from the beginning before we carry on with the session. So it's an open question. I've put it out there. So any one of you can accept my invitation to speak and answer my question. Who would love to speak? Okay, Clara. Clara, please start for me. I mean, what do you think about this? If you're in a relationship, do you think it's okay for your partner to have access to your phone? To what extent are you willing to share, your phone?
Okay, God bless you, Lady Raj. Please, can you all hear me? I think I have a very bad reception.
Oh, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Um, I don't know why I'm the first person to speak, but then okay. So what I think, what I think is that most of the time when we talk about, especially when we limit privacy to phones and all that, we tend to think about cheating alone. See, probably your partner may be doing something on the phone
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
all that. But I believe that sometimes it goes beyond cheating. It's not really necessarily about cheating. Perhaps if you are in a relationship with somebody and they probably have a family page or something, maybe their nuclear family page or something, they are discussing something which is, I mean, very private, like in their family, and then
Yeah.
something they obviously don't want people to know about. You pick the phone
Mm.
and you get to see all that. So it tends to be that when a partner prevents another person from maybe seeing their phone, the other partner from seeing their phones or and all that. The only thing that comes to mind is cheating. But sometimes
Mm.
it may not be cheating.
Which may not
However,
necessarily be so. Yeah.
yes. However, this one the men will beat me, but let me just say it. However,
They can't
sometimes
beat you, my
sometimes
sister.
the
They can't beat you.
confirmations we pray, the confirmations we pray to God about is on the phone.
Mm.
Sometimes the answers will come from the phone.
Mm.
So I love to use my personal experiences. I don't like sharing people's experiences. I like to talk about my own experiences.
We really
Um
want to hear it.
Maybe I don't know if I don't know. Okay, I think I've seen one or two people who may probably know about my past relationship. So I was in a relationship with a man of God, and as a typical church girl, you pray about confirmations and other things and all that.
Yeah.
So you see, somebody, my father is a pastor and all that, somebody who grew up in the church, you hear this thing. You see, when you're in a relationship, don't take your partner's phone, don't take your partner's phone. So it's like a no-go area. Is I mean, even if it's left there, you wouldn't touch it. But there was this particular day, I was just led. I would say I was just led to pick their phone and the kind of things I saw. I mean, the
On
kind
the
of
man of
things
God's
I
throne.
saw. Yes, yes, the kind of things I saw.
Mm.
So, this is me saying that if I hadn't gone through the phone that particular day, I'm sure by now maybe I'll be at Uncle for maybe like a psychiatric hospital or something. Because
Charlie.
I mean, this person was actually planning marriage with someone outside
Say what?
of Ghana, and this is a yes, this is a relationship that had been submitted to mentorship, families knew about, and all that, and so he was talking to somebody outside Ghana. I mean, couple of people, not even somebody, a lot other people, and all of them were outside of the country, and you know talking to them about marriage. The law says I should marry you and all that, and I mean one of them had actually accepted, and it's like they were planning, she was planning on coming to Ghana and all that, and
One
I
of
mean I
them.
saw
Ah, so it
everything.
wasn't even one.
It wasn't even one, like couple of ladies, but I mean, one of them was actually leading. She was in a comfortable lead. So I saw all that, and I didn't even confront him. I didn't say anything, but I just knew that the Lord had given me the answers I needed. Because I mean, there was no point. So I just stayed away. I was there, and then his mother called me to tell me that the man of God said that I had found somebody who lives outside Ghana, and then the person said he's going to marry me. So me, I've left him and all that. So he had to tell lies here and there and all that.
Wow.
So if I would have been there thinking that, oh, I'm preparing myself to get married and all that, only to be disappointed. And
Right.
I'm sure if it had gotten to that point, I wouldn't have been able to take it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it
Yeah.
may not be for any, it may not be for people, but for me, because of my experiences and all that, I I see that sometimes the answers that you're looking for is on the phone. Go on the phone, go and read it.
Hmm. But so was it that you actually had reason to suspect this person, or I mean, because I mean, um, I feel like, the right to privacy is actually a right. I mean, I think it's a
Yes, yes,
fundamental right.
yes,
Everybody has their right
yes,
to privacy. So, yeah,
yes,
if you want to see something on a person's phone, maybe you should ask. And if the person is giving so much reason, or is being so, um, so difficult about it, then you can suspect that, why are you being so, some way about this whole thing? You get it?
yeah. Yes, I I
Uh-huh.
I understand you.
Yeah.
I mean, privacy, privacy, privacy. Generally, if you're a private person like me, you would understand how, I mean, how everyone owns the right to be private about everything and all that. But in this particular case, I would say, I keep saying that I was led, because I mean, there had been a couple of times that the phone would be there. I had access, but I would never open, like, messages and all that. But this particular time, the
Yeah,
phone was just
yeah.
there, and then it was, I mean, I was just like, take the phone, go here, go here, go here. And then the first three messages I read, I could have read any other chat. The first three messages I read, I mean, was where the informations were.
Hmm,
So I'll just say that it is very, very dicey and complicated. It is
hmm.
not what it may not work for any other
What
person.
works for
It is
one may
not
not work
good.
for another. Yeah.
Yes, but sometimes it is just there. Sometimes it is just there. You have to do it. But I wouldn't say that go and look into your partner's phones and all that,
Go be
because it
snooping.
goes beyond
Mm,
cheating. It doesn't, in my case, I got an information which basically helped me. But like I said from the
mm,
beginning, it goes beyond cheating.
yeah.
Sometimes people are just planning stuff which has nothing to do. You are just in a relationship. You are not even married, and that's the thing. You're not even married, and in a relationship, it
Mm,
may work or it may not work.
may not work.
Someone is
Yeah.
planning stuff with their family. They are talking about, serious issues. Maybe something happening between mother and father, and you as a girlfriend, you are not even married yet. You are there, or you as a boyfriend, you are just there reading all these things. So it is
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
right.
Mm. Wow. 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 Thanks so much, Clara. All right.
Don't
So if you
mention. God
just
bless you.
joined, this is the dialogue with myself, Lady Raj. Thank you, my darling. And tonight we are talking about privacy in relationships. All right. And narrowing it down, but not necessarily limiting it to phones. Okay. So I asked a question. When you're in a relationship, what do you think about privacy or openness when it comes to things like phones? Should your partner have access to your phone, or should you both have privacy with your phones? And for those who are married or courting, do you allow your significant other go through your phone, or it's a no-go area? So that's what we are talking about now. Just answering this question before we delve deep into it. So I've had a lady speak. Can I? Okay, let me have another lady speak before I get a gentleman. Who is here? Okay, is Mrs. Adam willing to speak now? If Mrs. Adam is willing to speak now,
Yeah, good evening.
yay! Good evening, Mrs.
Okay. All right. So, a very nice
Uh
topic.
oh. Uh-huh, yes, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me? The network is
Thank
bad, I
you,
guess.
Mrs.
Please, can you hear me?
But it's okay. I mean, go on. Yes, please, I can hear you.
Okay. All right. So, privacy in marriage, zeroing it down to phones. I will say that it's not a very good thing trying to scroll through your partner's phone all because you want to find out if he's hiding something from you or not. Please, can you hear me?
Mrs. Please, I
Hello.
can hear you.
All right. So, like I'm saying, I wouldn't advise that you should pick your partner's phone all in the name of trying to find out if he's hiding an information from you or he's cheating or any other thing. And I'll also not advise that you should be very private about your phone. Sometimes you can just be with your partner and there is a problem with his phone. So maybe he wants to use your phone to make a call or to send a text message. And if you are not so open about what goes on your phone, He can have
Mm-hmm.
access to your phone even in your presence, and a message
Yeah.
can pop up.
Yeah.
So it isn't
Yeah.
like you have his phone out of sight or without
Yeah.
him knowing that you have his phone. You can actually freely be together, and then maybe he wants to send a message because he has a problem with his phone, and something
Mm-hmm.
pops up in your phone, maybe because you are hiding something from your partner.
Mm.
And in this case, you can't even defend yourself
Yeah.
because you might have given the phone to him. It wasn't like he's scrolling through your phone to find out what is going on. So personally, I will say that you should be open about everything that you think your partner should be aware of. Not necessarily telling him that, not necessarily giving him so much details into things you think are private to you. But if you have friends who relate to you, these days people can easily send you an I love you message or a text, oh, I love you, or some emojis. And some people who
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
partners who are very, um how do I put it, um who feel unsecured might even have issues with seeing
Jealous.
emojis of such nature on your phone. So I believe that
Mm.
if you have friends who relate to you in a certain way, not necessarily having an affair with them, but some people are so affectionate and they want to express themselves to you. Your partner can know that, oh, so I have this friend who, I mean, and this is how our friendship is like. So in case you see any message pop up on my phone from this particular person, this is the reason. So I remember
Yeah.
during national service,
Mm.
I wasn't even married. I had this black American friend. They came around for missions, and then they happened to come to Ebri. And then this man, when he saw me, he started calling me my African queen. And
Way.
I'm telling you, and I think I came down and I told my beloved then about it, that, oh, there is this guy called Ricky. They came down for missions, and then they came to where I was having my national service, and this is how he calls me. And then we laughed about it. So when he left to the US, he sent me money. He sent me Western Union or something like that. And then the code then was my African queen. And I had already told my beloved
Wow.
about
We had
this
already told
particular.
him. Yes.
Yes, I had already told him about this particular guy. And the day he sent me the message that he had sent me money, when he sent the message, he even ended with I love you. So I was asking my partner, I was there with him, and
Mm.
I was asking him, how do I respond to this message? And he
Mm.
said I should tell him I love him back. You won't believe it.
Wow.
Yes. And that was what I
That's a
sent.
very secure man. I mean,
And that was what I sent to the person. So in this situation, I am open to something like this with my partner. So he
mm.
wouldn't even feel unsecured or insecure about it. And the same
Mm.
thing applies to him. If he has any female friend that I need to know about, I mean, he will openly
Mm.
tell me. He can tell me that, oh, maybe
Yeah.
today I went here. This funny one, let me share. Like, he was going
Mm.
to pick our kids from school, and he was waiting for them. So he came home and he told me that whilst he was waiting, there was this lady who came around and was like, oh, hey, Papa, we pa, wa fo. Hey, me pa cho wa ware ana.
Abodini there for
And
me.
and these are some of the things that we laugh about.
Yeah. Yeah. But it may not be funny to someone
You
else.
know,
Yeah.
he
Mm.
comes home and he tells me, oh, poor network.
Yes, please.
Hello,
I can hear you, Mrs.
hello.
We can hear you.
All right. So, like I'm saying, these are some of the things some of the things we will laugh about. Oh,
Mm,
the network. I'm saying these are some of the things we can laugh about, but maybe in other relationships might trigger issues. So I think that we
mm,
should know
yeah,
who we are married to. Uh-oh.
exactly.
Yes, we should know who we are married to. You should know their temperament, how they take issues, and then we can take it from there.
Mm.
For now, that is what I'll say.
Wow, wow. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you so much for sharing. So before we get on and go into the next, phase of it, I will need two gentlemen to share their thoughts also. So I can see Benjamin. Can you all hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
Great. I can see Benjamin. I would really love to hear your thoughts on this subject, please. If you'd love to
Okay.
share.
Okay. Hi everybody. Good evening.
Hello. Good evening.
So I've been married for almost 9 years.
Nice. Congrats.
Yeah. Raja, I know you.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
you.
So so I'll look at it from two angles.
Okay, go ahead.
One, um what is the profession of your spouse?
Mm,
Because I know friends who are married to lawyers and doctors
mm,
and some
mm.
and they need to be private about certain things.
Exactly. Yeah,
So for
yeah,
for
yeah.
that aspect, I would say yes,
Mm,
is key. You protect your partner.
mm,
Yeah. So having said that, when it comes to the normal profession, like let's say teacher, photographer, even
even
photographers, there are
photographers
certain
can, and even teachers.
yeah,
I mean, anyone can
yes,
have, because sometimes students confide in their teachers.
yeah,
So if we are going to use profession, then my
yes.
brother.
I know, right? But
But yeah, of course, some of them are highly sensitive, of
yeah,
course, like you stated. So please go on. Don't mind
that,
me.
no, that's fine. I don't think for married couples you should keep things private from each other. There are people who have lost their spouses and they don't know where their properties are or certain information are
Mm,
because they never disclose.
mm.
In marriage should be. I saw somebody type in a message. The third party.
Yeah, yeah. I
The
saw that
privacy
too.
be for the two of you, your family, and there are levels of privacy. So between you and your wife, you and your husband, there's privacy for you, your husband, wife, and kids. So yeah, it's
Mm,
several layers of privacy. There are things that
mm,
only in the family, the nuclear family. There are things that
mm,
only in the extended family. Okay, this is our thing. We don't tell anybody. So it needs to be managed. It's like
mm.
firewall for every step of the way. That's how I see privacy in marriage and at large the extended family. That's my thoughts.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much, Benjamin. I was going to get to the profession part because I mean, someone will also be of the opinion that then you should have a work phone. All right, so that it's not as if you are using your work or your profession as an excuse for anything. You get it? Or what
Yeah.
do you think about that also? That I mean, you have your lawyer or something, and you have your work phone, and then you have your private phone.
Okay.
Because
So
I used
mhm,
some time ago, I used to work in a place, and I had to sometimes deal with some of the stuff, and I had to sometimes deal with some customers, and it was becoming a little, because sometimes they'll call you at odd hours, and because at that time the company hadn't given me a phone for that.
mhm.
So the clients were calling me on my personal line, and it was becoming kind of a nuisance.
I
So
agree
I
with
think that,
I
yeah.
agree with you, but okay, it depends on you. For instance, there are people who, I mean, not everybody will respect your boundaries. There are people who have written on their WhatsApp status that like you have it as part of your bio, like the whole setup.
Yeah,
no
yeah,
calls after 7. People
yeah,
have
yeah,
written there, and people
yeah.
that I can't
Mm.
use more phone. That's me.
Mm.
It's
That's
it's
you. Yeah.
yeah, it's too tedious. I can't cope with it. I'm just okay. This is my number. If you need me, this is my number. This is my email address, and I'm very big on social. So I respond to my
Your DMs
IG
and
like
everything.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. I'm big on social. So I respond within the next 5 minutes. You get a response. So look
Mm.
at it and how best it work for you.
Works
I
for you. Okay.
two
Can
phones.
I say
Okay.
something?
Yes, please.
Yeah, sure, sure. It's an interactive section. That's exactly what
Okay.
I want. I mean,
I think that as a married person, there's nothing like privacy. You
mm.
sold your privacy right at the altar when you said I do. You can have boundaries, but you don't have privacy, even with your children. I mean, there's
Mm.
no privacy at home. We don't keep anything from each other. When you talk of privacy, it's more of, I have my thing. You can set boundaries. That's what I mean. Everybody, this is
Mm.
my time, this is my space. That's okay. But there's nothing like privacy. You sold that a long time. I think when you get married at the altar, you sold. Besides, the
Mm.
person has seen everything about you.
Mm. Mm.
Especially when you're young, you tell your kids, "Oh, no, there's a private space. Nobody should see your body. It's a private part." Your husband and
Mm.
they've seen everything about you. What is the privacy there again?
What
So
was
I
there
believe
again?
that exactly when you're married, it should be open. If there's any
Mm.
cheating, I can assure you, if you are not led to look at the phone for any information, it's the Holy Spirit that will show you.
Who
It's not
help
the phone.
you? Exactly. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't think a phone should be anything. There's nothing like privacy when you're married. You see, it should be
Mm.
open. For about a whole year, my husband and I were using one phone. What he does
Mm.
is he has the WhatsApp on his laptop and I have the phone. I respond to the calls and he sees the messages and he, types if he has to.
Okay.
And so for a long time, when I share this with a friend, then she also decided to try with her husband. And guess what? She
I
did
don't
that
want to
and
guess.
she thought there was they are so transparent, only to find out that their husband was cheating with. I mean, and it was the Holy
Uh-oh.
Spirit who revealed it to her. It wasn't the
Mm.
phone. She couldn't have ever known through the phone. So I
Mm.
believe that when it comes to marriage, there's nothing called privacy. You sold that
Mm.
a long
A
time
long time
ago.
ago.
But
Andre, I
Mm.
like your point. There is no privacy but boundaries. I think I agree with you.
Boundaries. I
exactly,
Yeah,
think, yeah. I
it's
think we
yeah,
can.
boundaries.
I think we can agree on that.
yes.
Wow. Wow. I'm
I
learning.
have
I'm
a
learning.
question. Can I ask a question, please?
Oh, go ahead.
Uh, yes, I want to ask the lady Audrey a question because is it possible
Yeah.
that one person will have the boundaries and one person will be a free range?
A free range. What do you mean by that?
Okay, because I, for instance, I don't want anybody, including my husband, to touch my phone. He doesn't care that you touch his phone or you use his stuff, but I don't want you to touch my phone. I don't want you to go through my phone or even pick my calls. So
Mm.
if if you are that kind of person, is it okay? He doesn't mind, but I do mind.
Vera,
I think we
Yes?
all have our
okay.
individual. I believe that we all have our individual, differences because of our temperament. But if you're so stuck on the phone, I think you should find out why you are not allowing your partner to have the phone. Of course, I'm sure there's no particular reason. It's simply because you just, it's yours. Okay.
Vera,
Or yes,
Yes?
but
can I ask you a
just
question?
because you're
Okay,
married,
sorry.
Yes,
you
please.
you you need to compromise sometimes simply because you might there needs to be transparency. But of course, if your husband understands you, there's no problem. I mean, if you decide that no, I don't want to share my phone, it's your thing. Okay, which is also
Uh,
understand. It should be between you and your partner. That's it. Because
okay.
Vera,
even your children will
so
pick your
Yeah.
phone
I was going to
unknowingly
ask
and
you,
go into it.
what happens when you are not able to have access to your phone, but you need the help of your husband? Will you be comfortable?
Come again. I didn't get the question.
If you are not able to have access to your phone, but
Mm-hmm.
your husband, let's say you're not feeling well, you're in the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
but he needs
Mm-hmm.
to get access to your phone for an information, will you be comfortable?
Oh, boss, what information are you looking on
No,
my
no, no.
phone for?
I mean, it could be anything. It could be codes to your accounts, anything.
That's okay. So account what? Bank account?
Yes, bank accounts.
Even that, no. I don't want you to have access to that.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, see,
Cause okay, so all our accounts, like okay, I'll say that all his accounts, I am on it, but my personal account, he's not on it.
okay,
I those are my personal accounts.
okay, all
And
right.
that works for
Mm,
you and your marriage. So I mean that works for you and your marriage. So that's fine. I mean,
Yeah,
I believe that when it comes to marriage, there's no one size fits all.
exactly.
Each couple is different, and
Mm,
what works for one may not work for the other couple. I mean, for myself and my husband, for instance, we own a particular business together. So, for instance, he he created the business account, in my name. So, for instance, he has access to my email because um, this week, for instance, we've had to um, exchange, I mean, have interaction with a particular company, and he's in charge of that. So, I mean, I leave it to him to do, and there's really no problem with it. So, like for instance, I mean, that's what we are saying, that what works for one may not work for the other, and I really don't mind. My phone currently doesn't even have a password because I leave it a lot with my son, and so it'll Miss Rokrasa or Belokino. So for now, my phone doesn't. Even when it had, my husband had the code. My husband has a pattern on his phone, but I know it. But he doesn't go snooping on my phone. He takes my phone, oh, babe, Charlie, I need to do, because he handles, for instance, you know that when we are done with this session of the dialogue, for instance, my husband is going to upload everything onto YouTube. So I will give him my phone. He will download it, and then he will do the transfer. So I mean, of course, what works for one may not work for the other. But I think that one part, a very important part of emotional intimacy is vulnerability. All right. So if there's anything, any part of your life that you think um your husband or your spouse or your partner will find hard to accept, that information should come first from you. And that's something that I learned the hard way in the beginning of my marriage. If there's anything that you want, I'm seeing some people in the chat box, I don't even want to go there. If there's any information that you wouldn't want your partner or your spouse to find out, you should be the first person to let them know before they find out from another place. So I mean, I that's just for us here. So let me read a few of your comments, then we go back to the conversation. So Kwabna Achampons, Kwabna, I've not heard your voice today. Kwabna says some things to remember in any relationship. You have the right to privacy in any relationship, including with your spouse, partner, and family. In a relationship, you have the right to keep a part of your life secret, no matter how important, for a sole reason that you want to. But Kwabna, you know that when you get married, a lot of things change, okay? So you cannot be hell bent on keeping a secret. Why? What is it? What is it that you cannot share with your spouse? Bible says that, and the two of them were naked, the man and his wife, and they were not ashamed. So what is it that you really do not want to share? But anyway, I mean, that's your opinion. um Nana Araba says, if the spouse is not in the secret service, I really don't see what's wrong with having access to each other's phones. If you took vows that said, with all my worldly goods, I thee wed, what with the no-go area with phones? Lady who advocate for this. Nana Araba also says, the only private, can you all hear me, please? I guess you can.
yeah, yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah. So Nanaraba says again, what's it there? When Kramayura? Hey. The only privacy in marriage should be privacy from third parties, kids, extended family, and friends. The two have become one. All right. Nanarba again. There's an issue of a woman who has HPV. HPV is some form of virus, I guess, and added complications because she was complacent with a cheating husband. Their child took the dad's phone and mom took the phone only to see pictures and chat with girls from hookup. She's going to die for nothing. Oh, Charlie. Anyway, and when we're talking about friends and people who call you pet names, Mami Abna says, like me, who boos, hands, babies, and dears everyone close to me. You put someone in trouble, oh, Mami. Mm. And when Mrs. Adum was talking about the African Queen matter, Mrs. Vera says that, did you tell your partner about the money too? Yeah, I think she mentioned that she did. Yeah. Uh, Sami says people cheat with their business numbers. If that's the motive, forget. Yeah. Sami says, if you can open up your bodies and souls to each other, how then do you draw the line when it comes to cell phones? Anyway, Nanaraba says couples poop in each other's presence, go down and hey, mukansemu, and go naked too. People are saying things here. It's true, mum. Samuel says, I think the golden rule would be to know your partner. Find Augusta. The Augusta says, find what works for both of you and live by it. Um, different strokes for different folks, I guess, but phone will not come between my marriage. It's nipped in the bud. That's from Nanaraba. Sammy says cheating with PO box. Anyway, all right. So I think we'll go on. I mean, we'll come back here. So who do we have here? Anyone can speak. Oh, Megan. Megan, can I hear your take on this? Hello, is Megan there? Hi, Megan. All right. If Megan is not ready,
Raj,
yeah, Papa is here.
yes. So I think I would like to find out if we've really drawn a thin line between what is privacy and what is boundary. Cause if you are saying we can set boundaries maybe in a marriage or maybe relationship, how does that work for a phone? How do you set up boundaries for the phone? The phone
Mm,
aspect. And if you, let's say you were a man of God and probably you handle certain sensitive things about um, uh, people, how do you expect your wife to be going through that? Thank you.
mm. Now draw the line for us. You're asking how we draw the line. Draw it for us.
So
We
Yes.
can't
Raj,
draw.
Lady Raj, so
Yes, ma'am.
that is more reason why it's not that I even told my husband don't touch my phone, but he knows
Yeah,
already
yeah,
not
yeah.
to
I
touch
know.
my phone
Yeah,
because I deal with
I
a lot
know.
of girls
Yes.
and
Yeah.
a lot of ladies. So he will not he doesn't even go near it at
Mm,
all.
mm,
But that doesn't
mm.
mean he on the other hand will say, oh, don't touch my phone. He is not even for conversations. I think that
I know,
it would
right?
take somebody extra for you to think that no, I have to go through this phone, or there should be something that will trigger it. You won't just
Exactly.
get up
Exactly what
one
I was
day and
saying
say
earlier.
that I think it brings a lot of problems to at one point. So just leave it. If nothing is triggering you to ask anything, then fine. But if it triggers you to, I believe that you don't have to go through the phone, but you can have a sit
Past.
down talk with your partner
Mm,
and say that this is how I feel. And even I have had instances I would have wanted to go through your phone, but I didn't do it. So what is
mm,
happening? I think you can have a
mm,
talk about it, not going through the phone. So you go through the phone, you see it, then what? What are
mm,
you going to do about it? I mean, and for most men that I know who not even just, I won't say Christian men or non-Christian men, but most men, ego, even when you've caught them already, ego will not let them back down. It's
Mm.
a few men that will go down and apologize. So their ego will tell them, so what? My own dad, my mom caught my dad with a
Mm.
lady. My father opened his mouth and said, oh, Nana, this is what is surprising you. Then the next one you will hear, it will shock you. He
Hey.
said that.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. So what would you do? So I just feel that if you have anything or you feel insecure or something is happening and you, women are very sharp in sensing things. So as a woman, if you sense anything, have a talk. That's my take.
Wow. Wow.
I
PK.
I oh okay.
Raj,
PK, does that in any way answer your question?
not really.
Can I
But can
come
you
in?
attempt to answer your own question? Oh, okay. Audrey. Audrey has something to say.
Okay. Now, I think the lady is right. When it comes to your profession, I mean, your partner should have a good sense, of some of your professional ethics and should, respect it. So you're not supposed to share certain information,
Audrey,
especially
can
if
you
the
please
person is
speak
a
up a
lawyer.
bit for me?
Okay. So I'm saying that when it
Thank you.
comes to, certain sensitive information on your phone, for instance, your partner is you are a lawyer, your partner should have a good sense and be respectful enough not to go through your phone. That's
Mm.
the kind of boundaries I'm talking about,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
simply
Yeah.
because it shouldn't be, and you're
Mm.
being respectful, because in a relationship
Mm.
you need to have that, yes,
Mutual
but
respect.
uh,
Yes.
there shouldn't be a hard and fast rule. No, don't touch my phone. Touch my phone. It shouldn't, like she said, it shouldn't be something that should spark any trouble.
Mm.
Especially in marriage, there should be transparency, unless, of
Mm.
course, there's that ethical, thing when it comes to your profession, and that's where you draw
Mm.
the line.
The
That's where you
line.
draw the
Mm.
line. That's where the
Okay.
boundary
So,
comes in. Yes. And your
mm.
partner should understand. Besides, like, we're all agreeing that if there's any cheating being done, the Holy Spirit will lead you.
That
You have
that
this
is if
as a
you have the
woman,
Holy
you have
Spirit.
that's
That is if you
exactly
have the Holy Spirit, man.
That's
anything
if
on
you have the Holy
intuition.
Spirit.
Most women, God has given us that intuition. You
Intuition.
can't
Yeah.
shake it off. Exactly. Even if your intuition will tell you that something is going on, and if it moves you to the phone, it means that something is moving you towards that direction. And so it wouldn't be a
Mm.
habit. You're not snooping, and so there's nothing wrong with that. It's
Mm.
following the person every day with a phone, trying to look through the person's phone every day. That would be snooping, and that would be
Is,
bad. But
I mean, is
if
that not even
once in a
cumbersome for
while,
you? I
sorry,
mean, is that not even
yes, that's too
cumbersome?
much.
Isn't that a lot of work? I mean,
Exactly, that means insecurity and
that's
all that.
stressing
But
yourself
if
for nothing.
once in a while something pushes you, edges you to, look at that, it's simply because
Mm.
you're probably being directed, or yeah, then that's fine.
Mm.
But when you are not married and you are just in a relationship,
Don't
it's
try.
not, don't,
Actually, I
unless
was
of
going to
course.
because most of the people speaking are married people. So I was actually going to ask some of the single people to speak. I'm really interested
I
in what
want
they
to
have to
say
say.
something.
Aha, my daughter, speak.
Okay, so I think privacy when it comes to marriage. I've not been married, so I think when it comes to marriage, it shouldn't um there should not be any privacy. But when it's a relationship, at the beginning point, I think privacy should. I don't have a problem with maybe my partner going through my phone, but when it gives a signal of insecurities or anything, I would allow you to do whatever you want to do. For example, I want to make an instances where I was in a relationship and then um
Go ahead,
my
go ahead.
partner my partner was very insecure, and insecurities will never stop. It would always grow and grow and grow and becomes very
Yeah.
toxic.
Yeah.
So I know I have nothing to hide. So I give the person the room to do whatever he wants to do, like try to be fishy around, check my phone or whatever. I literally put my phone down for him to check,
Mm.
because he's always giving me that point where I feel this guy is so insecure. So I, to satisfy his insecurities and to satisfy whatever he's looking for, he can do whatever he wants. And if he really wants to leave the relationship or whatever, he can leave. But he should understand that we are in a relationship doesn't mean that someone else will not say I like you. The fact that I'm not bantering with the person, he will not even understand the fact that maybe you are having a conversation with someone and then maybe the person is saying he likes you, and then maybe you are not really responding, you are being very respectful about everything. He just doesn't understand also that you are in a relationship, but definitely you will still meet people, or even before you started the relationship, you will still you had people you knew or wanted to date you or something, and it has always been a
Mm.
problem for me in my relationships. I don't have a
Mm.
problem. Even if you give me your phone as someone I'm dating, I'm not able to go through the phone to find anything. If you
Mm.
give me the phone will be with me like this, and literally I'll not really find something. There might be something there and I will not even find it because I'm not looking
Mm.
for anything.
I'm not looking
But
for it. Yeah.
when you are from the other side and I see you are very toxic like that, I'll give you space to show your toxicity and then later on leave. Maybe the relationship will end in a bad note or anything.
Mm.
I think that
Mm.
in a relationship there should not it shouldn't be it shouldn't be so concerned. There shouldn't be a concern of going through phones,
Mm.
because we are all trying to get to know ourselves at a point. I think when you see that the relationship is going to be serious or is getting to the edge of being serious or leading into marriage, then maybe there are things you guys have to talk about in depth, so that to save
Mm.
yourselves having surprises in marriages.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So I can say about.
Thank you, darling. Thank you, darling. Okay, so I mean,
Hello,
for those of
Rahj.
us, hi, Clara.
Hello, please. Yes, please. Okay, so I wanted to say something about the boundary and then the privacy thing.
Mm.
Okay, so what I believe is that sometimes I think we confuse privacy and secrecy. You get it? So for instance, in a relationship, I'm also not married. So, for instance, in a relationship, there are some things that you have your personal boundaries, and that is where the privacy thing comes in. So, privacy is like the boundaries that you have personalized, like your personal boundaries. Like I don't like talking about my family. I don't, those kind of things. I don't like opening up about my work and all that. And then the other side, which of course maybe sometimes we confuse with boundaries as the part that we want to keep a secret, things that you are deliberate on it. You don't want to share this thing with your partner. So your partner may know that, like the other lady was saying, your partner may know that per the kind of work that you do, you don't like opening up about things. That is like a personal boundary. So you have the right to that privacy. So privacy is more of like personal boundaries that you have set for
Mm.
yourself,
For
and you make your
yourself.
partner
Mm.
aware of those personal boundaries. Like,
Mm.
I don't share my work and all that. It's just like when you're in a relationship and you don't want people to know that I'm in a relation, or I'm
Hmm.
in a relationship
That
with this
one,
person. It's not a secret.
it's a,
It's
it's
not a
a,
secret.
it's
Like
a
people.
different topic for a different day. We'll
All
get to
right.
that.
All right.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
All right.
All right. So, I don't know if my husband wants to speak today. My husband doesn't like talking. Hey, dude. I don't know if my husband wants to speak. Babe, will you talk, or you send me a message? Okay. So, someone sent me a message in my inbox. He says, "I guess my experience is way different from what has been shared so far. My wife and I literally lived in different parts of the world at different points in time before and after our wedding. We are open and share everything about each other. We intentionally volunteer information. And I think that that is what um, married couples need to seek to do, intentionally volunteering information. So, I mean, yeah. Papa Mickey, please, there's a request for you to use the mic. I don't know what you think about that, but anyway. Anna, Irana, please, let me hear your voice. My husband said, please, I'm not here.
Lady Raj, I would like
Hey,
to ask a question.
hello, Fortune. Please go ahead.
So this question, hi everyone, is a question for the married
Hi, someone.
ones here. I want to know at
Mm,
what point do you guys feel like you want to be part of each other's work content? For example,
mm,
my husband is a banker, I'm a lawyer,
mm.
and suddenly you just want to go through their work phones. What are you really
Oko,
looking
oko,
for?
eden, oko, pede.
Ɔkɔ hɔ kɔyɛɛ dɛn? Adeɛ adwuma yi, at the end of the sika ba fie. Is the money not enough? What are you looking into those contents for? I would like to know how you people handle these things.
Fortune.
Question, no.
Fortune,
Hey,
fortune.
Which people?
Benjamin, the way you're laughing, there's like you want to answer. Answering.
Okay, so I think that when your partner sense uh, some mistrust, then they want
Yeah.
your. For instance, I'm a photographer, so it's not for instance, I'm a photographer,
Mm,
and I always shoot. I mean, by latest by 7, I'm out of the studio. On rare
mm,
occasions, I do late shoots. Maybe somebody's
yeah.
traveling. I had to do a shoot for the portrait session for the person. So I told wife that okay, I will not be home around this time. So
Mm.
just lock up. I'll come home. Then all of a sudden, it start happening around the same. It becomes
Frequency.
very frequent. Like
Mm,
okay, now you're coming home. What shoot cry are you doing that you have to come home around 11? Then it raises
mm,
eyebrow. What shoot
mm,
did you do? Let me see the files.
mm,
Yeah, and
mm.
I can say this on authority that a lot of photographers, young people, well, married people as well, they do those who do well, they call it fine arts, but I call it well porn anyway. They do the nude shoots around midnight. So it's just
Wow.
yeah, it's just
And it's
them.
just you, the photographer.
Yes, it's the it's,
Dangerous.
it's just them and then the model or whoever the lady is. Because around
Wow.
everybody's close, it's just the two of them in the studio, and then that's it. If I find myself doing that, it means I'll be coming home late.
That is if
Daytime,
you
people,
find yourself doing that.
yes. If I find
But
my if I'm doing, then it
but
means
I
because
think that even this one is something that should be up for discussion for, I mean, with your spouse. Whether,
yes,
because that's not the line of photography you've been doing. So if you're going to
exactly,
venture into something like that, it is
ah,
something that you actually need to discuss with your
exactly,
spouse.
yeah, exactly.
Mm.
I don't do that. I don't do. I just do portraits, and I'm good. But what I'm saying is that for these kind of shoots, you can't do it during the day because people will walk into your studio.
Yeah, 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 that's true. That's true.
Yeah, so you do it at night.
Mm.
And if I find myself doing that, then it's like, okay, what are you doing? Why up late? I start because it's not my pattern. Fortune, I hope I have answered you.
Oh, I did.
You did.
Has he
And
has
also,
he attempted to answer your question?
Yeah, he is. I asked
Mm,
this because you know your partner has a professional career before you met them,
mm,
mm,
and these things are things you should know. You should ask about them before you get to certain stage. So if you
mm,
notice something different from the pre stuffs, then you can inquire. But if I'm
mm,
a lawyer and you know I handle cases. You've been visiting me. You know the things that sometimes I go through in my house. You don't ask details. These are things concerning people and their maybe sensitive contents. Then all of a sudden, out of suspicions, you start. I feel that if someone wants to cheat, they don't need a, a specific career to cheat. It's how they will treat you, no matter how good they even treat you. When the time comes for you to know, you know. But the point
Yeah.
is, we tend to ask ourselves, how long have you been doing this? Which to me, I feel it's
Mm.
not so necessary how long the
Uh-huh.
person has been doing that. So it will come back to the fact that if you are marrying or you are in a relationship, there should be that distinct thing about one's career path, because when they were offering jobs, I don't think they made a reference to you as emergency contact or whatever. And most of us, maybe you married before, maybe you got a job before you married or along the way,
Mm.
and mostly you
Mm.
check people's details. If you be sincere to yourself, they will even ask you things of next of kin. You say your mother, your father, or your brother until you start
Mm.
having kids or that. Yes. So these
Yeah.
are the truth
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
So I,
That,
I
yeah.
feel that if you have a career and you are not sound to talk about things before marriage, do well and deal with that. But in the course of marriage, I feel it's too late to start talking about things like this. That's my opinion.
Mm.
Fortune,
Mm. Mm.
Fortune, okay. So let me add a quick one. What
Okay.
you said is true. That's where the dialogue comes in. Before marriage, there should be dialogue.
I was going to go to that.
There should be
That
dialogue.
that's where the importance of building friendship before
Exactly.
you get married is. I mean, you need to know. And let me state this before I forget. Please do not marry someone you cannot trust. Because marriage is a long journey, and you cannot be stressing. I mean, about certain things right from the beginning. You can't keep up. So please, for those of us who are not yet married, if you can't trust the person, just don't marry them. You turn yourself before you realize you've become a toxic person. And maybe that's not even what you are. But because of the situation you've put yourself in, now you've become a kind of saying, a monitoring spirit. So please, I mean, just don't put yourself in that position. If Oh, Audrey, Paul. Then you
Also,
Is there
become
is there a way we can block people from texting? Because near Sami there.
Sammy there. I don't want to read Sammy's comments. He just
and Lady Raj, I also want to and I want to add this. There's one
Hmm.
last.
Go ahead.
That is
Your
before
last point though.
yeah, before marriage. And when you're in a marriage and then
Mm,
you get new roles to, you should update your partner that okay, I have this
mm,
new
mm,
role that comes
yeah.
with certain these things. So
Mm,
I may not be able to share as much, but this is how the scope of work. And your partner should trust you enough to accept your new role and the things that come with it.
okay. That's perfect. Okay, so someone sent me a message in my DM. The person says, I think people start seeking answers from their partner's phones when they sense some mistrust. So, for example, my phone was an open book my ex could go through any day, anytime. But I realized she was always uncomfortable whenever I needed her phone for anything. So then I decided to look through, and then the premium tears began. Oh, Charlie, yeah, is you. So I mean, like the person is saying, it's always about a trigger when people want to look through their partner's phones, like they when they become investigative, then means there's been a trigger. I think basically that's it.
Can I say
Basically that's
Ra-
something?
it.
Raj,
Yes, like the same people are speaking. Hey.
Raj, like
Yes.
it's like we are giving some leeway to the ladies when it comes to this trust issue. It's like
Eh.
ladies, they say they are sensitive when it comes to the fact that they can sense
Mm,
when somebody is cheating. But Charlie, nowadays the way the ladies cheat, it's like I don't know whether that one to the Holy Spirit or I don't even know.
Oh, please,
Hey,
please.
who
On
is
Holy
talking?
Spirit.
Who is talking?
Power crazy.
Yes,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
the one talking. So can I share? There was a story. Can I share a story
Mm.
with?
Oh, say it, cry. You are here for
So there,
stories.
so there was this couple that got married, and I think 2 years down the line, they were doing well, and the wife had an accident, a serious
Mm.
accident. So she couldn't do anything after the accident. She was crippled. She could not walk, nothing. And the husband said, "Okay, because she can't do certain things anymore, he wants to do a collage with their old pictures, like memories, so that at least he
Mm.
can post and other things." So the man requested for the wife's phone to just get some pictures of her phone because he has a limited number of pictures on his phone. So when he took her phone and went through, he realized there were certain pictures that was to his amazement. There were some pictures on the phone which showed that she was cheating. She was doing something with a different guy. And the day they had the
Oh,
accident, the day she had an accident, she was going to the guy's end. So at this
wow.
point, the guy is even asking if she should go for a divorce or not.
Mm.
So when it comes to
Wow.
things like this, it's like we don't really pay attention to who we should give privacy to or boundaries, because like now when it comes to privacy and boundaries, it all goes to just the phone.
Mm.
Why should it be just the phone? Can it be any other thing?
Mm.
So this is a question
Yes,
to the
please. It can be any
Yeah,
other thing.
yeah, yeah.
That's
It
what I
can be
wanted
any
to
other.
talk about.
Mm.
So I was about to say that I'm that kind of person. I don't need to know you're cheating to
Mm.
trigger me to read anything. But I just curiosity. So I ask a question about your work, and then you mention one, two, three, and then you leave the rest out. Then I become curious. It's
Mm.
something that has always affected. For instance, my parents were married counselors. My dad is an auditor, and I love to
Mm.
read, and he writes a lot. He's the one who records everything that happens during the counseling session. So if I see this person and I'm like, hey, I know this guy. What has he done now? Maybe from church. And then my dad will say, no, 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 we can't talk about it. Look, the way in which I'll find those papers he has written to read about it, I will find it and go and read it.
Hey,
You see.
sister.
So yes, and I
I tell
noticed that
daddy.
it was but before I got married. I have all the information of, because I just out of curiosity. If I visit your house and I see any paper, I will read. And it was becoming unbecoming. So I had to, stop that thing, reading everything in people's houses and, so it doesn't have to be just a phone. It can be papers. You've written something on papers, especially lawyers. You leave a lot of papers lying around. People like me will find it.
Mm. Mm.
So it
Mm.
doesn't necessarily have to be a
Have to be
phone.
the phone. Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. That's true. That's true. All right. Irana, Kradimbe no Yisu Ahaya. Oh, Owen, is she gone? I can't find her again. Oh.
Hello, can I say something?
Hi, girl. Oh, it's so good to hear your voice.
It's good to hear yours too. Good evening, everyone. And
Right.
I've just been quiet and following. It's a very interesting topic, and I just want to add a little bit. I haven't been married for long. I mean, I think on Saturday will be 1 year. So,
Yay. Happy anniversary in advance.
thank you. So I'm still new to this, but one thing I've come to realize is that communication and trust is very important because when I always tell my husband one thing, that when I become used to something, as human as we are, when I become used to something that we do, or something that he does, or something he becomes used to something I do, and then there's a change, sometimes we don't react to change well. So when we
Mm,
see a change, that's okay, he used to do it this way, but today, why is he doing it this way?
mm,
Probably there's nothing. It is nothing. Maybe it's nothing.
yeah.
But just because he didn't do it the way he usually does it, I
And you didn't
might have to,
communicate as well.
yes. And he didn't tell me that, oh, I'm doing this because of that, or oh, I did this because of this. Then my mind will go on it that, then I'll start questioning, why is he doing it
Yeah,
this
so
way
some,
instead of
mm,
the usual way he does it. So sometimes, going back to the question the gentleman asked, sometimes it's not because maybe women are always like, we are intuitive and we know when you are cheating and all that. Not because of that, but sometimes when you change how you do something, when you do it, we become curious as to,
yeah,
oh, adana, oh yeah, ni say na enne deɛ wayɛ ni say. Do you get it? So
mm,
that's when
yeah,
you have to communicate, so that we know that, oh, it's nothing, it's just this. And then when they communicate, that's when the trust must also proceed, that okay, I
yeah.
didn't understand, but as he's
And now I
communicated
get
it to
it.
me now I get it. Yeah, so
Mm,
that's
mm, mm,
the
mm.
little I wanted
Thank
to
you
add.
so much.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. I think it's so important because I remember in counseling, our counselor told us that um if your spouse used to do something and then the person suddenly stops, then there must be a question. But I mean, I feel like if the person had communicated it, there wouldn't be any doubts in your mind. You get it? I think we are going to round up now. Um, I think that the bottom line is that for married people, let's be let's be as open as possible. Let's be as how do you call it? You know, transparent as possible, so that you don't give your spouse room to worry. You don't give your spouse room to um how do you untrust you, mistrust you, distrust you, to not trust you. Okay, I let's just be open like that, unless like we've spoken about your profession or the work you do. And if you're here and your spouse is also um into something that is quite sensitive, like the medical profession, they've sworn an oath of secrecy or whatever it is. um Lawyers as well, they've all those in the legal field. So please don't give your spouse a tough time when you know that they have clients who who have information that maybe you might even know the client. You're not supposed to know this about the person. You pick the phone and then you get to know, and you two are, you cannot keep quiet. You go and broadcast the whole thing, and then your spouse's work is jeopardized. You get it? So I mean, basically that's it. And for those of us who are not married, I think that it shouldn't be, you shouldn't be doing that. I know of a situation where somebody actually bugged. I don't know if the person bugged the girl's phone or say if he was tracking. I don't know what the person did, but the person even actually took some contacts of the girlfriend's um like phone, and was texting them, all kinds. I mean, and I feel like if your significant other does this, then please, you should say goodbye, because more worry imponi. And yeah, when you marry, so please don't do things like that. It's very stressful. Don't put yourself through that. If you are in a relationship, trust the person enough. If you think you cannot trust the person, then I think the best, wisest decision to take is to exit that relationship. I will. Oh, Irana is not there. I'll give room for maybe two more people. Obaya, please, are you there? The Augusta, if you are there, let me hear your thoughts. And Obaya, can you hear me?
I can hear
If you
you.
can. Please give me your thoughts.
Ah, finally, she gets to speak. Okay.
Yes, so finally,
So,
I want to hear your thoughts. Then, um,
so
uh,
I
Evelyn too.
okay. So I think that we've heard from a lot of great minds, and all of them gave very insightful comments. But I will not speak on marriage because I'm not married. Nancy said I'm an experienced single lady, so I think marriage makes it's very dicey when you're talking about privacy,
Yeah,
boundary,
in
and
marriage. Yeah.
let me just stick to my single role and speak from that perspective. I think
Go
that
ahead.
before anyone would want to date someone, um, our own spiritual father has spoken to us several times about how you should talk about things on
Mm,
value, what you want to do when it comes to the number of kids you want to have, in-law management and all that. And I think privacy is also one thing you should look at.
mm,
Uh, because in relationship really we are not committed legally in any way, and so my privacy or my space is my space, whether it's a phone, whether it's um, something, things that are very delicate to me, and I think that it should stay like that. When we have that conversation about it or that communication about it, then we should abide by it. And
mm,
I, when people are snooping into their partner's phones, there's a trigger, yes, but they also want to see something. And you will definitely see something, even though it may not be the truth, because you, at the back of your mind, you want to see something. Even if, like Mrs. Adum said, it's a friend that has sent you an emoji, you might take offense in it, or you might take it as a
yeah.
big, because I want to see something, and you definitely see it. And I'm saying this because of experience.
Mm,
Some years ago, I had an ex, and I used to go to his
Experience,
phone.
pa.
I used to go to his phone a lot. And so one time he caught me and was like, "Obe Yari o." And I realized that yes, me Yari, because I was getting angry all the time. Anytime I see him with his phone, ne maame kɔ na ɔne ne kasa koraa, I get suspicious. I want to know ne kasa when he's on his phone. Like it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work on you. It may not be true. He may be cheating, and of course, we ladies are very sensitive to certain things. If you're cheating, we'll get to know. But to me, you should be open enough to have a communication with me. Communicate with me whatever that you think is a change in my attitude or whatever you think may be the problem, rather than going through my phone. I wouldn't give you my phone because my phones come with a lot of passwords from A to Z. I'm not going through your phone. And so don't
Hey.
give my phone because you think there's a change in my attitude or because you see something. Communicate with me. Have that honest conversation with me. That's what grown-ups do. Grown-ups don't snoop through your phones because they want to see something and then come back and get angry all over. So when it comes to relationships, really, there's a point where there's a some sort of exceptions, but the overall rule is let's have our space. If you think there's something wrong, have that conversation with me. Be brutal enough to have that conversation with me rather than going through phones and seeing something
mm,
that you not see and making a big deal out of it. Thank you.
mm. Thank you. I think um um if Evelyn can speak, then we can end with her. But while Evelyn speaks, I would really love for us, because I've sent messages around, but I've not got responses. If there's any topic or subject you'd like us to discuss on this show, kindly send me a message right now. You can send it backstage, or if you're comfortable, you can put it in the chat box. Please do it for me right now, please. Thank you. Evelyn, are you there, please? Hello, Mrs. Adu, are you there?
Yes, yes. Please, can you
Okay,
hear
I
me?
can hear you. Yes, please, I can hear you. If you can share your thoughts with us in 2 minutes.
Okay. Good evening. Um. So, what I would end with is that, well, I'm using my life as a case study. So, when we started dating, we weren't sharing. our phones or other things together. I wasn't having access to his phone. He wasn't having access to my phone because that was what we decided to do. Okay, it's none of your business, none of his business to go to my phone. But when we decided to get married, that was when we sat down and had a conversation that openness was going to be something that is a value in our home. Okay, we are going to
Mm,
value openness to each other, so transparency to each other. So we decided to do that by communicating. Now in the openness we have boundaries. Okay, in the openness we have boundaries in the sense that if my phone is there and someone sends me a message, he doesn't just pick it up and read it. He can pick my phone up and tell me, oh baby, please, this one sent you a message, can you reply? Or
yeah.
he needs
Mm,
urgent this, then you reply. Do you understand? He doesn't go to my phone and reply my messages because of the respect he has for me and the boundary that he respects that I
mm,
have set. Likewise, I do the same for him. So in openness, you should be able to have boundaries for each other. That yes, we value openness, but I'm not expecting you to go to that extent because I have my life before you came into the picture, and he has his life before I came into the picture. Whatever he's doing, I don't have to know everything that he's doing. He's a man of God. There are people that he will attend to that I don't have to know for my own good. I don't have to know. And there are things he's also handling that he's not supposed to know. So yeah, basically that's it. Openness was a value that we discussed, and in the openness we had boundaries. Yes, please. That's it. Thank you.
wow. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm sure, I hope that you've learned a thing or two from this discussion. I think that the basic takeaway for all of us is what Isaac Opoku has put there: openness, congruency, empathy, positive regard. I think mutual respect for each other, trust for each other. All right. So please, I think that let's respect. If you're in a relationship, and there are people in relationship who are how do you call them, domineering. They taking advantage of the other person, people who are suppressing their significant others. If you are like that, please, you need to stop it. Let people be comfortable around you. The person you are dating is not your subordinate. The person you are dating is not you are not lord over the person. Well, though in a sense they can say that maybe the husband is the husband is the head of family by all means, but autocracy I don't think works in marriage. So let's be um let's take note of all these things. Thank you so much, everyone. This has been the dialogue with Lady Raj. I would ask that you kindly subscribe to my channel on YouTube, Lady Raj on YouTube. And then, I mean, we hope to take this show a step further. Thank you so much. I'm really grateful. God richly bless you. We'll meet in 2 weeks. This show airs every other week. So we'll meet in 2 weeks. Lady Raj is spelled Lady Lady. There's a space, then Raj Rahj. Thank you so much. Salute to my executive producer, my husband, Michael Kajoya Boa, and my sponsor, my main sponsor, Modern Ministry Woman. If you'd like to sponsor in any way, hey, we are open. Thank you. God richly bless you. Please keep your topics coming. Send me a private message. If you have my number on WhatsApp, you can send it to me. God bless you. Bye.